Good morning, Laker fans. BDL44 coming at you with another video. Game 5 ahead, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Denver Nuggets, we're in altitude again. We made it back to altitude. We broke the 11-game losing streak to the Denver Nuggets and are now in a position to force a Game 6 with a win tonight. Got some injury issues for the Denver Nuggets that need to be considered. Reggie Jackson has a calf, and Jamal Murray has a calf. They're both considered game time decisions as of right now. Those are their 2 point guards, man. Now, we know the point guard position is not nearly as important for the Denver Nuggets because obviously they got Jokic, who's the best passer arguably on the planet right now. They can run everything through him. That's not going to be a problem. Running the ball up the floor could be a little bit an issue. I don't know who you want handling the ball. KCP maybe. Maybe they bring some guys up off the bench. I doubt it, though. I seriously doubt it. Maybe Julian Strawther gets some minutes or something if both of those guys miss the game. But I think it's going to be a little tricky because what you end up finding out right now, and this is something that is very, very important. Jamal Murray's been breaking a lot of shots. They've been giving him the ball, and he's been going 8 for 22, that kind of thing. What you're going to find now is that more accurate shooters are going to be getting the shots that he was otherwise taking if he doesn't play tonight. And that concerns me a little bit. What you got is the best passer in the world passing to guys who are probably more accurate. So we need to be aware of how their offense could actually benefit from Jamal Murray as currently been playing, being removed from the lineup. It could actually benefit in a way. Because at the end of the day, he was accounted for a lot of missed shots. A lot. And now you're talking about getting the ball, more Jokic shooting, more Porter shooting, more KCP shooting. Those guys have had better shooting series than Jamal. I was listening to Laker Nation just now, and they didn't expect that Jamal Murray would miss tonight's game. He's considered questionable, as they were saying it. I saw something that said game time decision. Whatever the case, same thing. I'm not so sure they're going to play Jamal Murray tonight because what we got to understand is our back's against the wall. Theirs, they got 3 games to lose before they're in trouble, or 2 games to lose before their back's against the wall. And for their foresight, should see the Minnesota Timberwolves resting on the other end of this series, having swept the Suns last night. The last thing that Denver Nuggets should be wanting to do is forcing Jamal Murray on a bad leg, same leg he had injury issues with, onto the floor in a Game 5 that is pivotal for us because we go home if we lose it. But they got another game to play in LA, and if they lose that one, they got another game to play at home. I mean, and then so much to benefit from Jamal Murray not forcing himself to run around on a bum leg. They're going to need him against Minnesota if they make it past Minnesota. They're definitely going to need him in Game 6 or Game 7 if we happen to win tonight's game. And if we don't, that's an extra game of rest for him. He doesn't play tonight. The Nuggets win tonight. That's all of the rest necessary to get him healthy enough for the next series against Minnesota. So I don't know if I'm the Denver Nuggets, I'm even considering playing Jamal Murray tonight. It's an important game for the Nuggets psychologically, but it ain't a do-or-die game for them to where they need to be running people out on a bum leg. My bet tells me if they're being smart, they're going to sit both of them dudes, Reggie and Jamal, because those are their 2 point guards, and if they don't have them, it's going to make them have a hard series against Minnesota. We obviously can't afford to look past them, but when you're up 3-1, you're definitely looking past the team in front of you, especially when you beat them 3 times in a row. They're thinking we're going to go home, take care of these idiots tonight. That's what they're thinking. And if that's what they're thinking, then they need to be thinking about how they can be as healthy as possible. And if for some reason the Lakers do extend this series and they play Jamal Murray tonight, now that's a game where he's not getting any healthier. And then they have to worry about Game 6 as to where, what if he hurts himself tonight a little further? What if he's forced to miss Game 6? Would you rather him miss Game 5 or Game 6 if you're the Nuggets? obviously game 5. So for me, when I start deducting what they're looking at, there's no urgency for them to play Jamal Murray tonight. Not in comparison to the risk of playing him tonight. That when you weigh the two, it's much safer and it's much smarter to sit him and or sit Reggie tonight. Because what you end up thinking is, if we can squeeze past the Lakers tonight, we got all the rest in the world. We got all the rest in the world for those guys that should be good for the next series. If we run them tonight and we beat the Lakers, what if there's, you know, an opportunity for Jamal to re-injure himself? Then we got a problem with him trying to heal up from re-injury, even though we get the rest to beat to meet up with the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's not as healthy if we would have just set him in game 5. So all these different things, when I consider their foresight, it points at, if I'm a Denver Nugget fan, I don't want Jamal playing tonight. And we'll just take our chances that if it goes to game 6, if we bring him back for game 6, playing him on that risk that otherwise we would risk tonight in LA. So, yeah, I wanted to get that out. And also, I want to say that I was totally wrong. I was in the reaction video of game 4, I said the Lakers had made it to May. No, we didn't, obviously, because it's still April. I think for myself, I may have glanced at the schedule and saw that if game 6 would be played, it would be in May 2nd or something like that. And I think I might have thought the 6 was a 5 or something like that. I don't know. But it never would have made any sense if I would have gave it a little more thought. So that was just a really bad blunder for me. But at the same time, I was more so hopeful that we made it to May rather than actually giving that any real thought. But nevertheless, we did make it to game 5. And if we win game 5, then I believe we make it to May. So, yeah, for those who were laughing at me about that, I was laughing too. I definitely had that wrong and said it a lot too. But nevertheless, the Lakers do have another game of April to play. And if we lose tonight, we didn't make it to May. So we got to make it to May, man. That's the key to everything right now. Make it to May. I don't know what the Lakers are wearing tonight. I don't know what the Nuggets are wearing tonight. I think because that game was, to be determined if it were necessary, I don't think that they actually had an understanding of what the teams would be wearing. And if they did, they didn't put it on the website. So I have no idea what the teams are wearing tonight, but I do know we're going to be in Denver tonight. I'd love to see us bring out the Lakers black jerseys, the Mambas. I would love to see that. Anyway, nevertheless, it's against the Nuggets tonight, obviously, and with those two being hurt, we have some good news on the injury front on our side. Christian Wood is not even on the injury report, so he's available 100%. I don't know if Coach will give him some run because he didn't give him any run in the last game, but at least he's there to call on. Also, Jared Vanderbilt, as I said in my last video, maybe there'd be a chance he could play in Game 5, or he's considered questionable for tonight. I know he had been ramping it up, and I also know that people were saying that he probably wasn't coming back, but I knew that that could be misdirection to throw the Nuggets off, so they wouldn't honestly tell you if he was coming back or not until they knew he was ready. And so that's what I think it is, a lot of misdirection being thrown out there about injuries, and that could include Jamal Murray. But we saw Jamal Murray hurt, and we saw Reggie Jackson hurt. So if they want to run him out there, it's a risk, that not only they re-injury themselves, but that we hunt them defensively, for which they should definitely not want. So, yeah, there's a lot of injury issues to consider in regards to Game 5. And I'm just curious to know who's going to hurt for those concerns. The Lakers bringing back Jared Vanderbilt. As I always say, when you bring a player back into the rotation, it can throw things off. Now you're taking guys off the floor who used to being on the floor. Now you're throwing a guy out there who hasn't played since February and asking him to get things right, hit his open jumper, and it's going to be left open. I like the idea of bringing Jared Vanderbilt back, but I don't know that I like him coming back against a smart team like the Denver Nuggets. If he's not 100% ready to give us what he's already given us, and he's going to take 5 or 6 games for him to get back into his old form. That's what him coming back from injury earlier in the season showed us. He wasn't himself for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So now it brings me to what Darvin Ham's going to do. Is Darvin Ham going to put him out there in lineups that he hurts by way of the spacing being screwed? Because remember, that was the biggest problem about having Vanderbilt on the floor. If he's not hitting shots, the teams gets to hone in on the other players on the floor. And the way we've been doing stand around offense, that's going to make it even worse if we put him in with those lineups. What lineups are you putting him in on? What are you asking him to do when he's fresh off injury, fresh back? Are we respecting that 5-game window for him in regards to him being himself? Or are we asking him to be himself and then going to be disappointed when we don't see that? I mean, I never feel comfortable about bringing a player back in situations where it's do or die, because that could toss the lineup in some bad directions, shake the lineup in some really messed up ways, and ultimately put you in a position to have players on the floor that are going to turn the ball over just off of infamiliarity, or whatever the word would be. So I'm always hypersensitive to the idea that we probably shouldn't be rushing anybody back or throwing anybody back into no win or die situation. So I'm curious to see what it is. I'd imagine, it's up to Darvin Ham to work him in correctly, and if he's struggling, get him off the floor quickly. That would be what I'd say. If he's hurting the offense, get him off the floor after the first play of that crap, and get back to what we've been doing that has gotten us big leads in this series. I know Rui has struggled, but I'm not in the business of sitting Rui all game long so we could work Vanderbilt back in so Vanderbilt could struggle, just so we can get an extra couple rebounds. I just don't. No, the spacing is more important. The spacing that Rui potentially puts on the floor is more important than those few rebounds and maybe that 1 or 2 defensive plays that Vanderbilt may be able to keep up with somebody like Jamal Murray, or may be able to keep up with Michael Porter Jr., which I don't think is a realistic ask, given the fact that they run Michael Porter Jr. off of every screen possible. You're just asking him to be bang a knee or get injured or get tired out in altitude at that. I just don't. I have a much more pessimistic outlook on bringing Jared Vanderbilt back than most Laker fans do. You bring him back early in the series, not when your back is against the wall and you got one game or you go home. It's touch and go for me. If I don't see what I like within the first 2 plays of having him out there, I'm putting something back on the floor that's been working for me. That's the only way to play it. Because if you let him shake up the lineup with his presence and he gives you all of his negative stuff, missing jumpers and, bouncing the ball off his knee or anything like that, it's going to cost you the game. And that's your series. So, this is not the time for a lack of familiarity. This is the time to do the stuff that worked in the first halves of each and every game that we played against the Nuggets for 48 minutes. That's what time it is. It's not the time to be bringing people back, in my opinion. Now, if he comes back and has a great game, great. But I don't think that's a realistic ask. And we have evidence of what is necessary for him to be himself after coming back from injury. Gotta be careful. I said the same thing about Brandon Ingram when the Pelicans brought him back. I said the same thing about Karl Anthony Towns when the Timberwolves brought him back, and they lost those games. So we can't afford to lose nothing. Obviously, this is a win or go home situation. The urgency to be careful with what you do with your rotations, with how you handle timeouts, with how you handle defensive assignments and cheating on defensive assignments, trying to take chances. All of that stuff could be the difference between your season ending and not. So careful ball is the best ball against the Denver Nuggets. And when we take chances on steals or take chances doing certain things, throwing the ball behind our back, turn the ball over, that's when we end up seeing them go on runs. And LeBron James, it's on him to kind of spearhead the careful nature of what's necessary, because he's had turnovers that have sparked the runs that the Denver Nuggets have gone on. In a lot of these cases, I've been looking at some of the film and remembering some of the stuff. And sometimes we be up by 12, all of a sudden he want to throw a bad lob, or he turns the ball over, So I need LeBron James turnovers to be low for the rest of this time we're going to be playing. Definitely tonight and in Game 6, Game 7, if we make it that far. We can't have no 8, 9 turnovers, 6 turnovers. That doesn't work. We need our stars, Bron and AD, to take care of the basketball. Swarming the Denver Nuggets was important. We did a fantastic job of swarming them defensively in the last game, doubling off of different people, in different ways. Obviously, we want to use common sense. You don't want to double off a Porter or anything like that and leave shooters open for easy buckets. But we do need to continue to give him different looks. Defensively, it worked. Keep going to it, please. I really intentional on demanding that the Lakers do what they've already seen succeed. Gabe Vincent was good in the last game defensively. We need his offense to come back around, but he made a layup. He made a three. I think better Gabe Vincent is ahead, and we're going to need it tonight, especially if we could take advantage of Jamal Murray's injury if they want to run him out there. I think that's the perfect person to put on him in this situation for moments at a time. He could take advantage of that in some ways. So, yeah, man, Jokic is going to get his big numbers. We know that. Altitude is going to play a big part in what we do out there, so we're just going to have to be ready for that. Got to prove we can win in altitude, man, because it's going to require us winning this game to keep our series alive. And if we're going to happen to get to Game 7, you got to do it again. So, you know, hopefully our team is just, our bodies react well to that. That's really what it is. And guys wanted enough to push hard, man. Austin Reeves been playing well. I need to see that more tonight. He's been giving us good ball over the last 2 games. I don't think we can win if he stumbles back into old ways. D'Angelo Russell, I mean, you know, he was great in the last one, bad in the first one. Great in game 2, bad in game 1. You know, the hot and cold, that stuff is it's rough on the team. We can't win when he doesn't play well, so hopefully he has it going tonight. I know he was shooting the ball yesterday in Denver, getting some shots up. I was happy to see him continue to work, shake it off. But tonight is just like Game 4. It's win or go home. So if we don't bring that desperation and that urgency and that focus and that belief, then we're out of here. This is it. This is the end if we don't win. So I don't want it to be the end. I really want this series to get to 6. I'll be content if we happen to lose Game 6 at home, but I really want this series to get to 6. I want to see us beat Denver here and beat Denver on the road. And if we can do that, I think the confidence to make something special happen can be present, and then it's just up to you to execute. But that's what I want to see our team do. We want to get a 2-game winning streak against the Denver Nuggets starting tonight. Hopefully we can save our season, man. We saved it against Denver on the road when they were on the road here in Game 4, and now that we've seen it can actually be done, now the test is to overcome them at home where the crowd is behind them, where the altitude is high, and you know, I want to see our team do it, man. Anthony Davis been playing great, 26 boards in the last game. I need him to continue to crash the glass like that. That's what worked. Hopefully his wrist is okay. I haven't forgotten about him falling on that wrist. But it's a playoff time, man. Everybody's hurting from something, so we just got to fight through it. Taurean Prince has been playing some good ball lately, good shooting. We need that to travel on the road tonight. He must have a good game, in my opinion, in order for us to win. If he's struggling on either side of the floor, it could be a problem. So we just need him to continue to keep his confidence up, because he's really been doing a good job, man. Over the last couple of games, I've been pleased with him and Austin Reeves. Those two have been pretty solid. You know, drive at the rim, confidence. He's been doing a good job of getting to the rim. Hopefully we get the whistle tonight for all of our players. And, you know, I don't want this to be the end, man. Game 4, I didn't care. Game 5, I really do, man. I really don't want this to be the end. I desperately want us to get this thing extended. I don't know what's changed for me other than just seeing the game go in our direction, getting a little taste of winning against this team, and then wanting to believe, wanting that respect that I've been demanding for, you know? I know it's unlikely that we win the series. It may be very unlikely we win tonight's game, but I still want my team to overcome. I want to believe, you know? I want something to believe in. And it's been a long season. I've wavered on my belief in this unit, but I want to believe in them. You know what I mean? And I want them to make that happen by going out there and winning tonight's game, if at all possible. If you play your best game and you just lose, then we'll just end the season and we'll be okay, I guess. You know what I mean? If you play your best, but don't blow any leads, don't let them get out to early starts. Don't do stupid stuff. Don't take chances. Learn from your mistakes. Call timeouts. Rotations that have size in it will really help us. Has helped us. I know Darvin Ham is going to live and die with what he believes in, but it's his, you know, this is the time to make your name, man. Playoff Darvin was a thing last year. Him doing stuff that doesn't work is going to just kind of take that away. And he'll probably end up losing his job. And then from there, he's going to have to prove himself somewhere else in a different light. I don't imagine Darvin Ham wants to stop being a head coach. So him winning tonight can extend that for, at least another game. And we've had big leads in all of these games we've lost, man. If any team should ever feel confident about coming back from an 0-3 deficit, it should be a team that has seen themselves in pockets at a time in each game they lost be up big. And we've had double-digit leads in all of these games. We've had leads in every game we've played at Denver Nuggets. And we've blown those leads in most of those cases until Game 4, where we actually held on to it. We know we can hold on to it. We know what is required. We know what we've done wrong in third quarters, standing around, turning the ball over, getting flustered on defense. We've made enough mistakes for us to have studied those mistakes and learned not to make them again. It's just really up to this team to see it through, man. See it through. One game at a time. You're not going to win the series by winning tonight, but you surely can lose the series if you lose tonight. So have that urgency and that desperation that'll keep your season alive so you can continue doing what you love to do. Ain't nothing promised. We don't know what's going to happen in the offseason. We don't know how life goes. This is your chance to extend your season and extend your life's dream as an NBA basketball player. I don't know how long LeBron wants to play. How many more playoffs you got ahead, bro? Seize this game like it's your last. Anthony Davis, same thing. You don't know how healthy you're going to be next year. Nobody knows what the future holds. Let's be present and gain your respect from a team that calls themselves a Laker daddy. If ever there was enough bulletin board material to make you push through any fatigue, it would be this. They've disrespected you. They went on a long winning streak against you. They don't even play their hardest against you because they think they could beat you without doing so. We need to gain our respect from this team, and I think we went a long way in starting that process, but we have not captured that. If we win tonight, I think we'll continue on that path. I think we could beat the Denver Nuggets tonight. And I hope the Los Angeles Lakers believe that too, and then I hope they go out there, execute well, and finish this team's, finish them off in their own house tonight. Then extend our series and make them come back to Los Angeles. Bring them back home to us and our fans. Make them face us again. That's what I want to see the Lakers do. Force them into situations where they're allowing the other team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, a lot of rest while they ain't getting none for themselves. The least we can do is bang them up real bad so that the Minnesota Timberwolves can finish them off if we can't. That's how I feel about it. So, yeah, Minnesota's waiting. They want to end this series right now. They're going to bring a certain level of urgency that has something to do with that. We need to make sure that we extend our series and keep ourselves alive and give ourselves a chance to keep this thing going. So that's really what it is, man. I want to win. I want the Lakers to go out there and want to win. I want them to persevere over all the mental hurdles and all the struggles that have come with trying to beat this team. If we go down big, I want to fight back and win. If we stay up big, I want to keep the lead and win. I want to win this game. If we play a close game, I want to find a way to win. And I think the only way we're going to do that is overcoming the mental aspect of it. And respecting Aaron Gordon's rebounding size. If you don't, he's going to go for another big game like he did in Game 3. And it's going to be your season. We got to respect that. You got rebounders returning. Wood. Vanderbilt, potentially. You got Jackson Hayes. It shouldn't be a reason for us to be too small out there to rebound the ball tonight. It shouldn't be a reason. Salute to Kobe minute. So that's what it is, man. I hope I've instilled some confidence in this team. I do not want to go home tonight, man. I do not want to go home tonight. So I hope this team can continue to believe in themselves, believe in the process, and not be satisfied with just simply breaking the streak. Breaking the streak is cool, but we want to keep playing. We want to get our respect back from these Laker daddy guys that call themselves that. And you're not going to do that by winning one game. I'll tell you that. A gentleman's sweep is nothing to respect. My name is BDL44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.